NBA isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about power moves, headlines, and GMs who treat franchises like their personal social experiments. Luka Doncic, one of the greatest young superstars in NBA history, took the Dallas Mavericks to the 2024 NBA Finals, proving that the foundation was in place for long-term success. Yet, in an absolutely baffling move, the Mavericks front office sent him to the Lakers. Why? Because modern NBA general managers aren't focused on winning championships anymore. They're chasing relevance, headlines, and Twitter clout, treating roster construction like day trading instead of steady investment and compounding over time. This is the story of how Luka Doncic was sacrificed at the altar of ego-driven decision-making, and how the NBA is falling victim to an epidemic of GMs who think they are the stars of the show. Mark Cuban was the face of the Dallas Mavericks for over 2 decades. Love him or hate him, he was committed to building a winning team. He oversaw the Dirk Nowitzki era, the 2011 championship, and the emergence of Luka Doncic. But in 2023, Cuban made a move that quietly signaled a shift in power. He sold his majority stake in the team, retaining a minority ownership role while still managing basketball operations. On paper. The reality? He no longer had the final say. And you have to wonder, did he actually support the decision to trade Luka Doncic, or was he simply overruled by the new ownership and a GM more focused on making a name for himself rather than winning? Dallas had the blueprint, and they threw it away. Let's be real, this trade made no sense for the Mavericks. They had a proven superstar who had just taken them to the NBA Finals. Any GM with a brain would have built around Luka, refined the supporting cast, and made another run at the championship. Look at what Boston did after losing to the Warriors in 2022. They didn't panic. They made strategic moves, added key players, and by 2024, they were champions. That's how smart organizations operate. Instead, Dallas blew it up. They didn't build on what they had. They tore it all down. And for what? Aging stars who are one injury away from irrelevance? And who came out as the biggest winners of this trade? The Los Angeles Lakers. Not only do they now have one of the greatest young superstars in NBA history, but they've also secured a decade of elite basketball. Luka ensures that the Lakers will be relevant and in title contention for the next 5 to 10 years. The rich get richer. And Dallas? They've set themselves up for years of regret. The newly appointed Mavs GM, Nico Harrison, inherited a winning foundation. Donnie Nelson, his predecessor, helped draft Dirk Nowitzki and later set up Dallas to land Luka Doncic. But instead of following a proven blueprint for success, Harrison did what too many modern GMs are doing. He chased a flashy move to put himself in the headlines, and he did that to his own chagrin. Look at how many of these big trades actually work out. Remember when the Brooklyn Nets traded for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce? They mortgaged their future by giving up multiple draft picks in exchange for the aging stars, hoping to compete immediately. While they made a few playoff appearances, the lack of valuable draft capital set the team back for years. Without high draft picks, the Nets struggled to build a sustainable competitive roster, leading to a stretch of underwhelming seasons before their fortunes turned around. The Mavericks just made the same mistake. Instead of investing in Luka and his supporting cast, they mortgaged their future for the possibility of short-term success, with a large risk on the back end. And it's a disaster waiting to happen. Once upon a time, championships were built, not bought. The Bulls drafted Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, kept the core intact. The Spurs built around Tim Duncan. The Warriors drafted Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. Today, GMs want shortcuts. They think championships can be won with quick trades and flashy acquisitions, rather than through the draft, with patience, development, and at most, a few well thought out trades. The result? Superstars constantly switching teams, franchises with no identity, and fans who never get to watch a team organically grow into champions. This isn't a new problem. It goes back decades to a man named Jerry Krause, the architect of the Chicago Bulls dynasty, but also the man who let his ego tear it all down. Krause famously said, "Organizations win championships," but Michael Jordan clapped back with the truth. Players win championships. And yet, modern GMs still don't get it. They want credit for trades instead of banners. They want to be the story instead of letting players write history. But in the end, only one thing matters: winning. And too many of today's GMs have forgotten that. Luka Doncic was the future of Dallas Mavericks basketball, but because of egotistic, impatient, clout-chasing executives, he's gone. What do you think? Is this trade one of the worst trades in NBA history? Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Also, be sure to like the video for the algorithm and subscribe to see more future content that I release in the future. This is Nate, and you've been watching the Legacy Sports channel. I'll see you all in the next one.